they talking real loud. Spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Put my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Put my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Put my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. I was wondering why everybody said it's muted. Okay, my mistake. I forgot to add myself back to the screen. Okay, I forgot to add myself back to the screen. Okay, so with that all being said, as I was saying, sorry. So for 12 Tribes Hair Oil, you can order from Etsy.com. Okay, just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, and for the men, don't forget she has a lovely beard oil. Now, with that all being said, so last night I reported to you all that Brian McKnight is suing Jaguar Wright. And what's interesting is he's suing Jag for defamation, but according to reports, his own daughter sued him for defamation in a case that they settled some time ago. So clearly, this is a family that likes to sue. Okay, so let's talk about it because I have the actual court documents. Everyone, please be sure to hit that like button. Okay, also, please don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, especially if you have not been receiving notifications. Okay, now with that all being said, um, is that Jaguar in here? Jaguar wants me to drop the link. All right. Hold on. There's the link, Jaguar. Hey, Vince, I am. All right, so everybody be sure to get the likes up. Okay, so now with that all being said, while I'm waiting on Jack to click the link, I'm going to go ahead and get started with these documents. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so this is like 10 pages. Let me get my watermark on here. Okay, so as you all can see, it's 10 pages. Okay, so it says Plaintiff Brian McKnight, in support of his complaint against defendant Jaguar Wright, also known as Jaguar Wright, hereby states the following. Now, first, here's the nature of the action. This defamation action arises from numerous videos posted on various social media platforms by Miss Jacqueline Wright. Now, under the name Jaguar Wright. In the videos, Miss Wright claimed that she is the cousin of Brian McKnight's ex-wife, Miss Julie McKnight. Additionally, Miss Wright made statements that Mr. McKnight had been abusive to not only prostitutes, but to his wife, Miss Julie McKnight. Prostitute he had beaten up that my cousin caught him with just before that, and how he beat her up for catching him with that chick, and that he was a piece of ish father, and he was even a worse husband. Now, plaintiff Brian McKnight is an individual and resident of the state of Georgia. For decades, he has been a prominent singer and songwriter in the R&B music industry, along with appearing in various television shows and movies. Defendant Jacqueline Wright is an individual and who, upon information and belief, has in the past year or years resided in the states of Texas, Nevada, and California. Ms. Wright is a neo-soul singer, songwriter, and content creator. Since December 25th of 2022, Ms. Wright has made numerous public statements on various video recordings that falsely implied that Mr. McWright was abusive to Miss McKnight. Miss McKnight, did I say Mr. McWright? Mr. McKnight was abusive to Miss McKnight during their marriage, was a terrible husband and father, and would pay said prostitutes extra to allow him to physically harm them. Okay, here's Jag right here. Hey, Jag, what's going on?
Grand Rising, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on with these allegations?
What do you mean it's just another distraction?
You think so?
It's just another no, I know so. I don't have to think about these things.
Mm.
Everything I said about that man is the God's honest truth, and everybody knows it. His wife is my cousin, and I love her
Okay.
dearly. And when we found out what he was doing to
Mm-hmm.
her, there's a lot of people in the Fields clan in South Jersey who really wanted to take him on a hunting trip. He should be glad he was always on the road.
Oh, wow.
I really can't stand when a piece of crap scumbag who gets off on hurting women has the audacity to do this. Like even Diddy told his lies better.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't doing nothing but take one for the team. Truth is, all anybody has to do is read my cousin's book,
Oh,
Mama
she wrote a
Bear.
book about it?
Oh no, there's a book. You can go and check it out now. Actually, I'm
Okay.
about to call my cousin in a few
Mm-hmm.
moments because I'm going to be interviewing her on the Jaguar Wright channel. We were supposed to have did it last year for Mother's Day, and then a lot of things happened. The Diddy tape came out and all of that. And now here we are. It's a year later, and I told my cousin we were going to get this done as soon as possible, but I guess now it's time to bring it to the Jaguar Wright show. We'll be talking about her book and everything in it and all that I know and all that she knows, and she's gonna. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this is gonna be real crazy if
But
she
hey,
comes out
go
and
off.
does an interview going against what he's saying. You know
You
anything
can go
about
read the book.
his daughter suing him for defamation?
I know a lot about. I know that he's done a lot of crappy things to all of those beautiful kids that he had with my cousin, who are more talented than him.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a punk. He's been a punk. But the truth is, what he's really upset about is me telling everybody about Kelly Worthington from South Jersey, who I went to Overbrook Junior High with for a short time before I left and went back to Philly. Went to William Penn. I
Now, who is
remember when
Kelly?
she was stripping. Kelly Worthington is a professional adult entertainer, you know, professional
Mm-hmm.
companion of exotic delights and things. I hope
Mm-hmm.
she's retired. Her daughters are grown now. Their names are Dominique and Jordan. I remember when they were born, their father was a third stringer Eagles player. They lived right up over there off of City Avenue, about a block and a half down from the high rise I used to live in. Over there by
Mm-hmm.
the TGI Fridays where Allen Iverson used to bring all his friends and never tip. You remember when that went national? Interesting time. It's funny. Brian, Allen, all of them, they all slept with Kelly Worthington. Her stripper name and her dance name was Paris. Actually, she's the reason why Amber Rose is Amber Rose. If she hadn't have been gone on, you know, maternity leave, Amber wouldn't have been able to take her spot as the half black, half, white girl who, knew how to do whatever she knew how to do. Yeah.
Right.
It was Paris that got her that break with Kanye. Because when Kanye came through, he saw Amber. But if he had seen Paris, and everyone said that if Paris was there, yeah, she would have been the one. It's just funny how all of that works. But I know for a fact that he paid extra to hit her. I remember the night when I went over there to that Holiday Inn that's now, I think it's a Marriott Courtyard.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it used to be a Holiday Inn back then. And I came to pick her up, and Brian had been playing over on, what was he, in the Tower Theater? Yeah, up there by, over Market Street, up by the 60th Street station. And he left that show and he went over there to City Avenue and he paid her extra to black her very light face, to black her eye, to
Mm-mm.
sprain her
That's the kind of
arm.
stuff he was into?
And when I asked to take her to the hospital, and when I asked to take Kelly to the hospital, I said, honey, who did this to you? Let me go get the fellas. And she said, no, 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 he paid extra.
That's
And
crazy.
those are facts. And that is an eyewitness account. And you want to know what's even weirder
Wow.
than that?
What?
Brian McKnight clienteled with the Roots.
No, really.
Want to know what's funny? You know, you
Mm-hmm.
want to know who Kelly Worthington's cousin is?
Who?
Jamal from the Roots. The light skinned one that
Really?
can barely play the piano still. Yeah, Jimmy is Kelly's cousin. Their mothers are sisters, and both of their mothers were prosties.
Mm-mm.
He
Now,
knew
did he know
everything that
Brian
all
was
of
beating
those
on
men were
Kelly?
doing to his cousin. He knew everything that those men were doing. Every time I said, man, help me, we got to get her out. We got to get her out the game before somebody hurt her. He said, she's a whore just like my mother and her mother. Let her be. This is what she likes. Then that's when I found out he was making introductions, knowing exactly what was going on. So,
Mm-hmm. This all sounds
I
nefarious.
guess it's time for me to start digging up the roots. What do you mean it sounds nefarious? That's Tuesday. That's Tuesday in the industry.
Just a regular day, huh?
That's Tuesday. It gets more interesting by Friday. Especially first Fridays when Diddy likes to dress up like one of Charlie's angels and flip his hair. I just don't understand. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand people.
Not Charlie's Angels.
All these sodomites running around. All these sodomites running around abusing women.
Mm. Yeah, it's
That's what they
crazy.
do. This is who these people are. And if old Goofy McKnight wants to go a couple rounds with me,
Mm-hmm.
well, then God bless him. And I mean that with all due disrespect. May God bless you, fool. This is
Wow.
just another distraction. This is all. I guess they feel bad that they messed up with the last lawsuit that they tried to put me in when they said I was somewhere when I was in jail for another crime that I got set up for that I didn't commit, that I walked away from nulle prosecute. 6 felonies I walked away from nulle prosecute with a
Mm-hmm.
with a public defender and my own records representing myself. Like, I don't understand people. But hey, go off. It ain't gonna stop me from getting to the bottom of Angie Stone, and it's definitely
Mm-hmm.
not gonna stop me from making sure that this jury pool is no longer further infected with all of these lies. So these
Right.
people do not say reasonable doubt for the diddler in any way, because everybody that keeps coming up against me, they rightfully should be sitting there in that RICO with him, and the things that I'm doing are gonna make sure of it. So I really don't understand. Skilo, please, I want you to go and take your mouth and I want you to put it on an exhaust pipe and wait for someone to turn the car on. Okay? You have a breathing problem. You need to stop. Seriously. You're taking up good air for real human beings. You're a piece of crap troll. Go back to the hole you came from and tell the official king pedo, aka Trevor Green, he'll be served soon.
Well, Jack, I'm gonna let you go because I have a couple other
That's
topics to talk
wild.
about too. But when are you?
Oh
Do you
no,
know
I'm
when you're
sure, but
gonna?
I just find it funny that all of these trolls literally who could not get into my members only chat because I'm a members only platform now and I found a couple more trolls in there. Skilo is a mess and Tracy, all of these people, they're these are the weirdo Avenger people from that psychopath, Danny Robertson. These are all her people. See, they was just over watching my live because I just ended it and they can't get into my chat unless they super chat. And all I do is take their money and block them and ban them. So they came over here to grace you. So, I mean, they're terrible and they're
Mhm.
all idiots, but at least they're giving you engagement and views. So I hope you have an amazing show.
Well, thank you. Let me know when you're gonna have the interview so we can watch it with your
Oh,
cousin.
you'll see the promo. You'll
Okay.
see the promo. It's going to be on the Jaguar Wright show.
Okay.
And yeah, to all of the trolls, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
I
Weirdos.
mean, they might as well, right?
Well, listen to me. If they're going to be here clogging up your chat just to insult me, you might as well get something out of the deal. Have a
Right.
good
Since they
day.
followed you. All right. Thanks, Jay. All right. Well, y'all heard what Jag said. She's gonna be interviewing his ex-wife. And I want to see that. And like I was telling you all, his daughter supposedly sued him for defamation. I'll get into that momentarily. And also, we got to talk about Diddy's son, King Combs, because his case must be coming up soon. because Tyrone Blackburn got an order from the judge. Okay, so anyway, let's get back into it. And also some information on Shannon Sharpe, honey. Shannon needs to sit all the way down. Okay, so that all being said, where was I? Hold on. Okay, so that all been said, defendant Jaguar Wright is an individual and who, upon information and belief, has in the past years resided in the states of Texas, Nevada, and California. Ms. Wright is a singer, songwriter, and content creator. Since December 25th of 2022, Ms. Wright has made numerous public statements on various video recordings that falsely implied that Mr. McKnight was abusive to Ms. McKnight during their marriage and was a terrible husband and father and would pay said prostitutes extra to allow him to physically harm them. Now, jurisdiction to proper pursue it. Okay, I'm going to skip past all that. Let's go to the statement of facts. Ms. Wright verbally stated in various video recordings that were published in various social media platforms that Mr. McKnight was physically abusive as Ms. McKnight and others. Mr. McKnight's career began when he signed his first record deal with Wing Records and debuted his first album, Brand McKnight, in 1992. Throughout the decades, Mr. McKnight has recorded 17 studio albums, appeared in approximately 8 films, and numerous television shows. Mr. McKnight has numerous hit songs to include, but are not limited to, Love Is, One Last Cry, You Should Be Mine, Don't Waste Your Time, and Back at One. Mr. McKnight's work has been nominated numerous times throughout the decades and has landed him an award with the NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Male Artist after releasing Back at One, and an award with Soul Train Music Awards for Best R&B Male Album for his album Anytime. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, Miss Julie McKnight, a singer and individual who knew and dated Mr. McKnight during their youth. Mr. McKnight was married to Miss McKnight for 13 years from 1990 to 2003. During their marriage, 2 children were born, Mr. McKnight Jr., Mr. McKnight, Brian McKnight Jr. and Nico Knight. Okay, during the time, Mr. McKnight knew, dated, and then was married to Miss McKnight. Never did Mr. McKnight meet, encounter, or become aware of Miss Wright and her kinship with Miss McKnight. Upon belief and information, at some point after Mr. McKnight and Miss McKnight separated, Miss McKnight shared numerous false and defaming statements with Miss Wright, who has chosen specific time periods from 2022 through 2022 to spread false and defaming information. Now, here's my question. It says that after they were separated, Miss McKnight shared numerous false and defaming statements with Miss Wright. Well, if his ex-wife shared the stories, how come he's not suing her? How come he's not suing her too? Because he's saying that she put the stories out there. Okay, but let me continue. Miss Wright began her live video by informing those watching the live video and those who would later view the video of the music she was listening to, and then made the statement, "It's Christmas and I'm giving honesty and truth and gift. You know, it's a gift this year." Okay, Miss Wright stated in her live video that there's another asshole I need to say Merry Christmas to. And you all, listen. And so I do have the video, okay? I do have the videos that he's referencing in this lawsuit, okay, that I'll play momentarily. And so it says there's another asshole I need to say Merry Christmas to. Miss Wright stated that she came to this conclusion after coming across a video on YouTube that was discussing Master P and Brian McKnight and exposing their ungrateful children, to which after she discussed Master P, she began to discuss Mr. McKnight. Okay, I'm going to skip past all of that because they're just repeating what Jack said. I'll just let you all hear that in the video. So I'm going to skip past all that. Okay, now with that all being said, after Miss Wright made the false accusation that Mr. McKnight would physically abuse Miss McKnight and other women, Miss Wright attempted to support her narrative by stating, and then we found out later through my friend Javon Pearson, who is very, 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 very good friends with my cousin Julie McKnight Johnson, found out there was abuse going on in the home. Miss Wright failed to verify if the statements provided by Mr. Javon Pearson were factual prior to sharing them in her live video. To further her defamatory statements of Mr. McKnight, Miss Wright mocked one of Mr. McKnight's well-known songs, Back at One. Yeah, Jag started singing a song with her own words, y'all. It was hilarious. Hold on. Now, Ms. Wright continued the false and defamatory statements in an effort to regain a positive image in the public's eye. During the time of 2022 through 2024, Ms. Wright experienced not only public backlash for her allegations against other prominent individuals within the music industry, but also found herself in legal cases by these individuals. In an effort to continue her narrative and regain the attention of the public for her podcast on or around May 1st of 2024, Ms. Wright released a video on YouTube that further defamed Mr. McKnight, as well as her false narrative back to the public's attention. During the video, Ms. Wright continued to make the same false and defaming statements regarding Mr. McKnight that she had previously made in her Instagram live video on December 25th of 2022. In the video, Ms. Wright began by discussing The Grape by Ike on Tina Turner, and then immediately compared it to Mr. McKnight's hit song Back at One. So Ms. Wright made the notation that Mr. McKnight's hit song was not inspired by such admiring and loving events that the public believes inspired him, but was inspired by the complete opposite. Or Brian McKnight going into the studio and recording One, It's Like a Dream Come True, and oh, what a wonderful, great song. But if anybody knew about the prostitute he'd beaten up that my cousin caught him with just before that, and how he beat her up for catching him with that chick, and that's where the song came from. After Ms. Wright made this statement, she realized she had caught the attention of the fellow individuals in the live stream, which was exactly Ms. Wright's intentions. After Ms. Wright noticed that the individuals were now more interested in what she had to say, Ms. Wright took the opportunity to turn Ms. McKnight into a victim and hero who, you know what she did instead? She started advocating for all of his victims. Imagine that you're standing in the gap for and getting help for and protecting the women that your husband cheated on you with. He's saying this is what Jaguar said. Additionally, Ms. Wright furthered her false narrative that Mr. McKnight was abusive when she made the false statement. Approximately 10 days later, on or around May the 11th of 2024, Ms. Wright participated in an Instagram live stream video with Mr. Javon Pearson and two other individuals. Ms. Wright took the opportunity to again state her kinship with Miss McKnight. Julie McKnight Johnson is my cousin. She is my family, and I give a damn about what happens to her. Ms. Wright made the statement in an effort to gain the attention of viewers and to inform viewers that she held a relationship with Mr. McKnight, one that she knew or should have known was not real. Immediately following Ms. Wright's statement that she is Miss McKnight's cousin, Ms. Wright changed her vocal tone to one of disgust and stated everything that nigga McKnight put her through. In doing so, Ms. Wright had made the effort to keep the attention of the viewers while insinuating through her tone that Mr. McKnight had acted in an unacceptable manner towards Miss McKnight. Again, Ms. Wright took the opportunity to turn Miss McKnight into a victim and hero while running her narrative that Mr. McKnight was an abusive husband. Okay, so they're repeating what Jack said. I'm going to skip past that because, like I said, I'll just play the video. Okay, so as a result of Miss Wright's false statements that Mr. McKnight was abusive to Miss McKnight, they have some typos in here because at this point they say Mr. Wright. Okay, they didn't even catch that. But anyway, was abusive to Miss McKnight, other women, and was a terrible husband and father. Mr. McKnight's reputation and career sustained immense damage. As a singer-songwriter herself, Ms. Wright was well aware of the negative effect that these false and defamatory statements would have on Mr. McKnight's career. Mr. McKnight has endured issues securing venues for concerts to be canceled, and petitions for tickets not to be sold through vendors. For years, Mr. McKnight had to endure the false and defaming allegations set by Miss McKnight. While Mr. McKnight was trying to continue his career, Miss Wright was pushing a false narrative about him in order to further her career. Well, I'm gonna say this. I don't know about Brian McKnight and his wife, but haven't you all heard some things about him not being too nice to his children, specifically his Black children? Because doesn't he have some biracial children? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn I read that somewhere a year or two ago about some kind of beef he was having with his own children, and specifically his darker skinned children or something like that. Do y'all know anything about that? Or did I just make this up in my own mind? Hold on. I really don't think Brian McKnight is a good person from what I remember reading about him. Hold on. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Yeah, here it is right here. I knew I read this about a year or so ago. Brian McKnight slammed for calling his biological children evil and products of sin after praising his stepdaughter amid family feud. Yeah, was going in on his own biological children. Here it is right here. Hold on, I'm going to share this video too. He needs to sit down somewhere, I'm just saying. Kiki said, yeah, he basically disowned his biological children. Exactly. Leon said he's low down. He is low down. And I remember reading this because I'm pretty sure I reported on it, okay? Donicia said, Queen keeps receipts. Honey, I sure do. Okay, Brian McKnight, he needs to sit down somewhere. But I'm about to go. Hold on. I'm about to, okay, I tell you what. I'm going to finish reading the document and then I'll go to that because I'm almost done. Okay, so anyway. So goes on to say, Mr. McKnight has endured issues securing venues for concerts to be canceled, and petitions for tickets not to be sold through vendors. For years, Mr. McKnight has had to endure the false and defaming allegations set forth by Ms. Wright. While Mr. McKnight was trying to continue his career, Ms. Wright was pushing a false narrative about him in order to further her career. And like I said, if his ex-wife is the one who told Jaguar this stuff, how come he's not suing her too? Okay, because somebody's been saying stuff about him, but his own kids. His own daughter filed defamation against him. Like I said, I'm gonna get into all that, but I have heard conversation about this man just not being a good person. Now, plaintiff repeats and realleges each of the foregoing paragraphs as if set forth fully herein. Ms. Wright published a video on YouTube on May 1st of 2024. The video, which is still fully accessible, is available to a worldwide audience as the YouTube account is not a private account. The video contained false and defamatory statements concerning Mr. McKnight. Or Brian McKnight going into the studio and recording one, It's Like a Dream Come True, and oh, what a wonderful, great song. But if anybody knew about the prostitute, okay, they're just restating that. Count 2, defamation for statement in Ms. Wright's May 11th, 2024 YouTube video. Okay, so he realleges all of that. All right, and so basically, his prayer for relief, whereby or wherefore plaintiff respectfully requests that the court enter an award in plaintiff's favor and against defendant as follows. Award Mr. McKnight compensatory damages of not less than $75,000 or in such additional amount to be proven at trial. Award Mr. McKnight punitive damages to the maximum extent permitted by the laws of the state. Award Mr. McKnight all of his expenses and costs, including attorney's fees, and grant such other and further relief as the court deems appropriate. Okay, this was filed and signed on the 28th of April. All right. So that all being said, honey, this is all nefarious. Brian McKnight needs to sit down somewhere. That's all I'm saying. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Now, let's go back to this stuff he said about his kids. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Can y'all see that? Okay, so it says, this is somebody named Nico Mayo. She posted saying, every time Brian McKnight starts trending, I want to cry because I used to love this man's music, but shaking my head, I can't support it anymore. Not everyone is born of married parents, but did he have to call these children products of sin? Sincerely, apparently a product of sin. Okay, and then somebody said, you have a daughter. I wonder how this post makes her feel. Honey, they say Brian McKnight is a piece of work, honey. Please pay attention. Now, is this, let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can play this video. Oh, darn it, I can't play it. I thought I was going to be able to play it. But anyway, it says on here, the same God that said, honor thy father and mother, also said, children are a gift from the Lord. They are a renewed, they are a reward from him. Okay, so anyway, honey. Like I said, they say this man's a piece of work and doesn't give a darn about his own biological children. So Now, with that all being said, let's go to the video of Jag going in on him. Okay. Hold on. Here it is, you guys. I got the video to play. Hold on. Let me pull it back up. Okay. I don't know why I wouldn't play the first time. Okay, here we go.
So lastly, this week, I want to big up my man right here. See, he gets it. In order to live a life that you love, you have to get rid of the evil and the negativity, even if that evil and negativity is related. We want everyone to live a life that you love. Our hashtag, that's what it means. Hashtag I love our life. But in order to do that, you have to get rid of all that evil and negativity. There's so many angry and upset and negative people out there. We want to use our platform as a place of positivity, a positivity platform. So hopefully, I mean, who knows, next week, maybe I'll only respond to positive comments. We'll see. We'll see you next week.
Okay, so I thought he was going to say something about the kids, but that's basically him responding to the comments that he got in backlash for the comments that he supposedly said about his children. Okay, I mean, what did he expect? So anyway, here's what he says. Hold on, I'm not going to read all of it because he already said most of it. Here go the kids right here. Some pictures of them when they were young. Here we go. Okay, those are his biological kids right there. Now it says fans were quick to slam the Grammy-nominated artist with one posting, "This is very nasty work. My goodness, what are the blasphemous bad father in hell?" Another one chimed in saying, "Every time Brian McKnight starts trending, I want to cry because I used to love this man's music, but shaking my head. I can't support it anymore." And then they say last year, McKnight faced backlash for publicly disowning his sons, Brian Kelly McKnight Jr. and Nico, whom he shares with ex-wife Julie McKnight. He also became estranged from daughter Brianna and son Clyde from previous relationships. When the singer married his current wife, Leilani McKnight, in 2017, he became stepfather to Julia and Jack McPhee. Now, their first son together, Brian Kenoa McCoy Jr., was born in 2022. Towards the end of last year, McKnight celebrated the achievement of his stepdaughter, Julia, who obtained her master's degree, sparking renewed discussions about his relationship with his biological children via Instagram. Okay, that's when people started going in on him. Now, in response, McKnight posted a weekly reply video on Instagram where he referred to Julia as "my soul daughter." The family feud hit a high note last October when McKnight was slammed for changing his name to become a senior to his newborn son, Brian Kenoa McCoy Jr., although he was already a senior to his eldest son, Brian Jr. Oh, wow. So he changed his name so he could be senior to the other child that came after the fact. The hitmaker made the announcement in an Instagram post that doubled as an album promo, which may have also rubbed some fans the wrong way. He included a sepia-toned photo of little Brian Jr. and shared the album's puny title, "McKnight Time Lullabies, an album for my son." "So proud to introduce our son, Brian Kenoa McCoy Jr., to the world with the release of my new album, lovingly created for him." McKnight added that his son had the suffix Jr. because "I am so proud to officially announce that I have legally changed my name to exactly match my legacies." Okay, this is clearly shade he's throwing at the other son, honey. Please pay attention. What kind of father does this, honey? He is a slime ball, if you ask me. "My legal name is now Brian Kenoa McCoy McKnight Sr.," he shared before informing his fans that his album is now available. Okay, and so anyway, honey, I find it all so nefarious. So some people gave him some congratulations or whatever. He included several hashtags, including "I love our life," "Baby Brian," "My legacy," "Junior," and "Family first." Family first, but you don't even acknowledge your biological kids from your other wife, your ex-wife. The announcement was met with condemnation from several commentators, leading McKnight to eventually limit comments on the post. "Family first, huh?" wrote one disapproving person, while others called it petty and a disgusting move. A more measured commentator wishing him congratulations made it clear that they thought he was wrong, though. I pray for peace and healing for your family. Changing your name doesn't or can't erase what already is. One blood comment urged him to grow some balls and reconcile with your firstborn children. Another person simply made it clear that they were no longer a fan. But some people responding to the post were fully in McKnight's camp and didn't find his name change unusual or disturbing. They probably don't have kids then. So anyway, I'm not going to read all of this. I think I've seen enough. Okay. Now let's get into those videos, honey, where Jag was going in on him. Right. Twisted Logic said only folks supporting him are the Dusties. Okay. Gwendolyn said he is a piss poor father. Stacy said Brian is jacked up, naming his new son after the firstborn Brian Jr. Right, and then changing his name to Fitz. This is all a hot mess, honey. So anyway, with that all being said, Measure Man said, and you knew he let his son suffer through his cancer treatment, didn't lift a finger to help him. Oh, really? So one of his sons had cancer? And that's really sad, huh? This man, he's clearly a piece of work. Okay, so now with that all being said, let me pull up this video. Like sub, everyone, please. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, I'm going to put overlays over this. Now, this is the first one. It's like 2 minutes long. And then I'll pull up the other one next. Hold on. Oh, let me put an overlay on here. Hold on, you all. Let me give you a little bit of hold on. Let me have a brief word from my sponsor real quick.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, and so with that all being said, let's get into it.
And I'm giving honesty and truth and gift, as a gift this year. So there's another asshole I need to say Merry Christmas to. So I'm looking, and Chestnut Checkers, I love for their content. I do. I think they do an awesome job. So I'm looking, and they got something about Master P and Brian McKnight exposing their ungrateful children. Now I can understand why Master P is trying to do some damage control because he robbed his son. I said as much myself. I believe Romeo completely. Because when that nigga was back with my girlfriend Kima Dyson from Total back in the day, he was cheap as fuck, and he was worth hundreds of millions of dollars then. Master P cheap as fuck, so I know he robbed his son. Like, if a woman will leave Master P to marry a man that owns a car dealership, you gotta ask why she dropped that millionaire. And she's had a great life with Carlos. But it wasn't enough to stay with Magda. He ain't have enough going on. So I know he cheap as fuck. So I understand the damage control, especially considering how his daughter OD'd and now the whole family saying that he left her out there to die. So I get that. But Brian McKnight having something to say? See, that really puts a bee up my bonnet. And there's a reason why it puts a bee up my bonnet. His ex-wife is my cousin, Julie McKnight Johnson. Now Julie Johnson. She's the mother of his older children, his first children. He was a piece of shit father, and he was an even worse husband. And see, I know things about Brian that most people don't know. And it was hard for me because he was married to my cousin, and I tried to mind my business. But there was a pro in Philly that I went to school with. I've spoken about her before. Her name is Paris. Well, she danced by Paris. She was dancing at Delilah's, Dale Spring Garden, and Delaware Avenue the same time that Amber Rose was when she met Kanye West.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there because Jag got on here and told us that part, not to mention they're playing music in the background. So I'm gonna go to the next video. But that video right there that was playing, that's the one that Brian was referencing in the lawsuit. Okay, that's the one that was quoted in the lawsuit. Okay, so I'm going to the next video. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
On our readers list. And do you want to know why? Because it's the real life stories. An abusive marriage to some love singing nigga. You know, that's what I love about music. You can really channel how you really feel in a very therapeutic way. Cathartic. Where was I? Where was I with it? One, I'm a nightmare for you. Two, I truly disgust you. And three, yes, it's plain to see that you're a scumbag clearly. And four, repeat 1 through 3. 5, nigga, get on your knees. If ever I thought that my work was done, I'm just gonna drag that ass back to 1. 1, I'm a nightmare for you. 2, I truly disgust you. 3, nigga, it's plain to see that you're a scumbag clearly. And 4, repeat 1 through 3. And 5, nigga, get on your knees. If ever I thought that my work was done, ooh, I'm just gonna drag that goofy ass back to 1. A nightmare for you. You see how that worked? I did it in a loop. That was freestyle. Straight for that ass. Ain't that amazing? Imagine a middle finger sounding so good. You know? 1, a nightmare for you. 2, nigga, I disgust you. 3, and it's plain to see that you a scumbag clearly. And 4, repeat 1 through 3. 5, nigga, get on your knees. If ever I thought that my word was done, nigga, I'll drag you back to 1. I'm a nightmare for you. Look at that, it's perfect. That would even sound good with a bad singer at karaoke. Ew. I know May 5th is coming. You know, the last lawsuit that they put me in, I was in jail when they said I did what I didn't do. Sucks for you. My batting average is 1,000 against you idiots. God said no. It's just that simple. But my cousin's book is amazing. And what I think I'll do is, rather than worry about your goofy ass, I'm just going to focus on the amazing thing that.
All right. All right. Y'all heard that, honey. Brian McKnight needs to sit down somewhere, clearly. Okay, so with that all being said, let us continue. Okay, that was entertaining. Hold on. Since we're talking about Jags Reeds doing her singing, hold on. Hold on. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share.
Jigger man, do you get cold? I want to know. Oh. When you cock hold, Jigger, do you get cold? When the baby pulling up and your woman's in his face, I wanna know. When you cock hold, Jigger, do you get cold? I wanna know. Respectfully, yes. What the hell are you waiting for? Your downfall. Jigger man, do you get cold?
That is never gonna not be funny to me, honey. Okay. Now let's talk about Shannon Sharpe, okay? Because Shannon had some previous arrests, and I told you all, you heard it here first. I told you all days ago that Shannon Sharpe had at least 10 legal filings over the past few years. Okay? Years of trouble. Shannon Sharpe arrested at least twice, honey, by battering 2 different women decades before 2 latest lawsuits. Well, what do you have here, Mr. Sharpe? And let's not forget, for those of you who missed it yesterday, I reported on him refusing to watch that alleged S video that he told us was going to show him in a damaging racial stereotype position. Okay? He needs to sit down somewhere because, Shannon, honey, you are done, honey. Okay? You brought it all on yourself. You brought it all on yourself, okay? And if he hadn't said such things about Black women, and maybe I could muster up a few kind words to say about him, but alas, I cannot. Shannon Sharpe was arrested at least 2 times for allegedly assaulting 2 different women decades before he was accused of rape in 2 lawsuits, okay? Exclusively, it has been revealed that the famed NFL player turned sportscaster was charged with battery in 1994 and 2004. I already told you all this. See how I told you all? I want y'all to pay attention real quick. See how I told you all I be breaking news, and then it's breaking news for everybody else days later? We already got this information. What am I thinking? I told you all in 1994, that's when the baby mom, one of the baby moms allegedly called the police because he put hands on her trying to put her out of the residence. Okay, he threw her out, allegedly. And then in 2004, there was an incident. Or no, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I get it mixed up. It was 2004 when the baby's mom allegedly called the cops because he put her out. But there was another incident that happened in 1994. And then he must have been charged with it in 95, because I think it actually happened in 94. But anyway, nonetheless, his behind was arrested. In one incident, Sharpe got into an altercation with a woman at his home in January of 1995. Okay. Now, a police spokesperson said at the time, each said they were hit by the other. As a result, both Sharpe and the woman, whom the publication has chosen not to name, were charged with simple battery. Now, the woman, who was also charged with destruction of property after she allegedly broke some glasses and things, according to the spokesperson that spoke to the Washington Post at the time. Then they say later, less than a decade later, the First Take star found himself facing similar charges stemming from an incident with another woman inside his Atlanta home. Now, a Fulton County clerk confirmed to the U.S. Sun that Sharpe was charged with simple battery on July the 22nd of 2004. That would be the supposed baby mom. A woman claimed that Sharpe lifted her up to physically remove her from the home. An alleged incident occurred in June, and the woman reported it to police 2 weeks later. Then he reportedly turned himself in and was thrown in jail. He posted a $1,000 bond less than 24 hours later. See, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Shannon's been a whole criminal. Shannon has been accused of violence before. Okay, this isn't his first time at the rodeo, and that's why I'm here to tell y'all, believe it or not, Shannon's career is done, finito, finished. It's a wrap. Okay, it's over. Quite frankly, he's fired from ESPN. I don't care if they came out and told us or not. They're not letting him come back. Okay, how many times does he have to get stuff swept under the rug Okay, and then they cover for him before these people get sick and tired of being sick and tired. All right, they don't love his arse that much. All right. See, he's been getting away with certain things. Okay, all these incidents from previous things that happened were getting swept under the rug. They kept covering and kept covering. Now they can't cover up nothing, honey, because the audio has come out, the text messages have come out. Okay, even though that audio sounds a little sketchy, could have been altered, but nonetheless, they got some receipts on his arse. They've got some receipts on him. And the fact that he refused to watch the video that he told us about, because just like Tony Busby said with his nefarious self, Tony Busby said that we didn't even have to ever know about that video because they weren't going to mention it. Shannon's the one that came out and mentioned it, okay, as if he was trying to, use it to besmirch the young lady, but it's backfired. Because Shannon, how come you don't want to watch it? Because you know what you was on there doing, okay? Probably dressed up like Minnie Mouse, like I told y'all, tooted up and booted up. All right. While Gabby's back there digging for gold, honey, allegedly. But anyway, goes on to say, he posted bond less than 24 hours later. His attorney at the time claimed Mr. Sharpe very appropriately and lawfully simply picked her up and gently put her outside of his home. The case was ultimately resolved in mediation, and Atlanta Clark picked her up and gently. Mr. Sharpe very appropriately and lawfully simply picked her up and gently. Now, you know that's a whole lot, right? Now, y'all know that's a lie. I want y'all to picture it. You're arguing with somebody in their house or even in your house. You're arguing with someone and it gets to the point that you want them out your damn house and they won't leave. And you like, get the F out. And they're like, no, I ain't going nowhere. Then they start breaking ish because they said she broke glass or something, didn't they? Or was that the other incident? Nonetheless, you're sitting there telling somebody to get out your house and they won't leave. And you mean to tell me you're going to just gently, first of all, how do you gently pick up anybody other than a baby or a little kid? But you're going to gently pick her up and place her ever so gently outside of the house upon the grass. Shannon, please stop. Okay, please stop. I can only imagine how he picked that woman up and snatched her up out of there like, yikes, you got to go. And you know what he already said? He already told on himself when he said, if you see him holding a black woman by the arm, okay, if you see a black woman on his arm, he's holding them for the police. That's what he was doing. He snatched her up, took her outside, and was holding her till the cops showed up. Pay attention. Only when they showed up, they took his arse to jail too. So much for that, Shay Shay. But let's continue because Shay Shay is nefarious as far as the queen's concerned. Now, with that being said, he gently put her outside his home. The case was ultimately resolved in mediation. An Atlanta court clerk told the U.S. Sun they believe the cases were both since expunged. Okay, when contacted by the publication, Sharpe's lawyer said in a statement, it should be of no surprise that when someone famous is in the news, all sorts of people crawl out of the woodwork to share their connection to that person in an attempt to profit from the alleged relationship. Oh, really? Is that what they do? Saying that in many cases, these stories or accusations are nothing more than old news, fanciful exaggerations, or sometimes blatant misrepresentations of fact. They are shared on social media or fed to reporters with intentional factual omissions and no regard for the truth. This is obviously purposeful, designed to create a fabricated narrative. Oh, really? Well, sir, the only fabricated narrative that I see going on here is when Shannon was supposedly having something going on with Gabby and then tells us that there's going to be a tape that's going to be taken out of context and only 30 seconds shown, and it's going to have him shown in a bad light as if he was engaged in some damaging racial stereotypes, which sounds like race play, okay, and him being on all fours. Now, with that all being said, goes on to say it was exclusively reported last week that Shannon is facing a mound of more recent legal issues stemming in part from a lawsuit filed by his former girlfriend, Michelle Bundy Evans, who accused the former NFL star of assaulting her. Now, the ESPN star is also facing a separate lawsuit filed by a woman identified as Jane Doe, who alleged that he raped her when she attempted to end their relationship in 2024. Oh, I want y'all to pay attention. She's now saying that he did this when she tried to end the relationship. Now, she didn't say that before. Are y'all paying attention? Because that wasn't said before. Now she's trying to make it like she tried to get out of the relationship. And then he did this. But she also, remember, said she was mad when she heard about that audio when he was on Instagram Live with the other Michelle. But anyway. So Sharpe has denied the allegations and the case remains ongoing. He stepped away from his role at ESPN on Thursday, stating that he plans to return at the start of the NFL preseason. Honey, you can plan to return, but you won't be returning. Y'all remember I told you that. Then the lawsuit filed by Evans against the former NFL star in late 2023. She made several alarming claims regarding an alleged incident in 2010. In her lawsuit, Evans said she and the ESPN First Take star had dated for nearly a decade when in September of 2010, they got into an argument over her claims that he had cheated on her. Now, during the argument, Evans alleged that Sharpe proceeded to forcefully subdue me, compelling me to my knees, and subsequently engaging in non-consensual oral penetration. Evans continued to say, thereafter, Shannon's coercion escalated as he maneuvered me onto the bed and achieved non-consensual of the JJ, the rest, all the while proclaiming his intent to make it so no other man would want me. Evans said that after the alleged incident, the First Take star threatened her with ruin if she disclosed what had allegedly happened. Following the incident, Evans filed a restraining order against Sharpe, who was working as a TV analyst for CBS Sports. The restraining order petition alleged that he repeatedly calls and threatens her life, places her under surveillance, and calls to say he's watching her. After news of the restraining order became public, Sharpe temporarily stepped away from his role on the NFL Today. In her current lawsuit, Evans is suing Sharpe, host of Club Shay Shay, for defamation. She claims the sports personality has repeatedly referenced their legal disputes on television and other platforms, causing harm to her reputation. A representative for Sharpe responded to the request for comment, stating that Michelle Evans claims are ridiculous and completely without merit. She could not find a lawyer to even take her case. And if you read her complaint, you'll see it's filled with nonsense. Okay. Now, Doe, identified in court documents, alleged after meeting Sharpe at a gym in Los Angeles, the former tight end persistently pursued her. According to the lawsuit filed, and we already know the rest. Okay, we already know the rest. She claimed how he demanded complete control of her time and body, wanted her to be at his house on schedule, okay, and all kinds of nefariousness. And now, as I said, that supposed audio has been brought forward, and Mr. Sharpe doesn't want to listen to it. Okay, please pay attention. That all being said, okay, now with that all being said, let's talk about King Combs. Okay, because you all remember Diddy's son, Christian King Combs. Oh, hold on. There's more information about Shannon. Hold on, I almost forgot. An sexual assault lawsuit mounts. Shannon Sharpe's media empire collapses and future at ESPN hangs by a thread, honey. Shannon Sharpe's burgeoning media empire faces collapse as assault allegations surface, jeopardizing a potential $100 million podcast deal. His leave from ESPN's First Take follows internal turmoil, with Jason Kelsey eyed as a replacement. Do y'all hear this? Didn't I tell y'all he wasn't coming back to ESPN? Okay, they're already looking at a replacement. Honey, that means he's out of there. I told y'all, but let me continue, honey. They're not going to have it. Shannon has had one too many incidents. Okay, please pay attention. Now, Sharpe denies the accusations, but his reputation is severely damaged, casting doubt on his future in broadcasting. Honey, it's a wrap. I really hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I get no joy out of this, but all I can say is when you lie down with dogs, you wake up with fleas. Okay, facts. NFL Hall of Famer turned media powerhouse Shannon Sharpe is facing the most devastating crisis of his post-football career. Once a rising star in sports broadcasting and podcasting, Sharpe's ambitions to ink a $100 million deal for his Club Shay Shay podcast network has crumbled in the wake of two explosive assault lawsuits. I told y'all that deal was a wrap, honey. He should have kept that to himself in the first place. Maybe he could have quietly settled that with that $10 million he was offering. Okay, Shannon Sharpe, who recently recently left FS1's Undisputed and found massive success with Club Shay Shay and other shows under the Volume Podcast Network, has been in talks with major platforms for a high-value deal. However, sources close to ESPN confirmed those negotiations are dead following public relations of alleged abuse and disturbing text messages linked to ongoing lawsuits. Wow. So with that all being said, it's a wrap for Shannon. Just imagine all that he's going to lose. According to court documents, a woman accused him, the former Denver Broncos, of violently assaulting her. Okay, we already know all the rest. Sharpe's leave of absence from ESPN's First Take came after internal backlash reportedly made the workplace environment unbearable. Okay, now one ESPN employee described the tension as a war zone, with staff questioning why the network didn't act sooner. Trust has been broken, they said. He's been toxic. Okay, he's seen as toxic now. This is what they said, honey. They wanted him gone. Okay. They wanted him gone. They said that when that other lady, Michelle Bundy Evans, filed that suit against him, that further darkened Shannon's public image. And they said the podcast deals are off the table. Shannon's reputation has ruined everything. Getting all that money is no longer a reality. Woo, honey, this is all bad for him. As ESPN scrambles to fill Sharpe's seat, insiders suggest Super Bowl champion Jason Kelce is being strongly considered. He's the name on everyone's lips. Sharpe, meanwhile, has denied the allegations, asserting via Instagram, "At this time, I have decided to step away temporarily from my duties at ESPN." Child, you fired, honey. Please just accept it and move on. He maintains the relationship was 100% consensual. Okay, with Sharpe's once promising media future in jeopardy and corporate support dwindling, okay, and evaporating, honey, it remains to be seen whether the outspoken commentator can rebuild his brand or if this marks the end of his broadcasting reign. Honey, it's over. I hate to say it, honey. Oh, this is all nefarious. Do you know how upset I would be at myself for talking myself or just doing something that cost me to lose $100 million contract? Ooh, honey, I don't know what I would do with myself. Chosen One says, "Wow, I would be devastated losing out $100 million." Honey, me too, honey. Okay, I'd be devastated losing $10,000, honey, much less $100 million. Okay, it's all crazy, honey. And the hard times that we're going through thanks to Trump's ours, and we got to get back on Trump. Okay, it's too many distractions. Shannon out here acting like a whole fool. Okay, Brian McKnight's nefarious self out here trying to blame Jag for him not booking shows. Honey, Brian McKnight, baby, you wasn't booking shows for the past few years because what you said about your children, as far as I'm concerned. And then your own daughter filed a defamation lawsuit against you. Now, make that make sense. But anyway, I digress. Okay, I digress. Now, here is something that somebody wrote about. This man wrote this article about Shannon Sharpe. I don't know how he knows Shannon or if he does, but he says Shannon Sharpe is an undisputed idiot. If breathing was a voluntary movement, sports media pundit Shannon Sharpe may have died years ago. Sharpe epitomizes everything I despise about the current landscape of sports media future. He is cocky, arrogant, spiteful, petulant, ignorant, inauthentic, and uninformed. Woo, honey, tell us how you really feel, honey. Besides, because of pundits like Sharpe and others, I find myself consuming less and less mainstream sports coverage on a regular basis. First off, Sharpe does not come off as bright and insightful like fellow ex-football stars who have turned to television broadcasting, such as Michael Strahan and Marcellus Wiley, for example. Now, while Sharpe had no problems conquering defenders in the open field during his playing days, conquering the English language seems to be a bridge too far to cross for the NFL Hall of Famer. Low IQ aside, Sharpe's overall unprofessionalism and toxic attitude is what I detest the most. This past Tuesday, Sharpe refused to go on his Fox Sports 1 program, Undisputed, with co-host Skip Bayless. Now, mind you, this is an article from 2023, but I just thought it was nefarious. Sharpe's refusal to go on the show that day was because he was in strong disagreement with Bayless's tweet the night before regarding Bills player Damar Hamlin, who suffered a cardiac arrest episode during a football game on Monday night. call me crazy, but I would strongly doubt that anyone reading this article has ever called out sick from work over a tweet. Then on Wednesday's show, Sharpe doubled down on his ridiculous behavior. The former football star got into a heated verbal exchange with his co-host when Bayless told Sharpe he stood by his original tweet and would not delete it. While no fan of Bayless myself, I respect a journalist who stands by his unpopular statement on a sensitive matter, especially these days when saying the wrong thing at the wrong time may get you canceled. In my view, Sharpe and the other slimy media members like him are using Hammond's unfortunate medical event to virtue signal. I feel this insufferable practice is primarily an attempt to undermine his partner Bayless while simultaneously trying to boost his own career. If Sharpe was actually a good journalist and not just some overgrown jock pretending to be a journalist, he would not need to resort to such skullduggery to enhance his public profile. Honey, he's going in. Please pay attention. I feel Sharpe's massive ego is also in play here. He craves the public spotlight, something that he was able to hoard in abundance when he was a Super Bowl winning player. Now, as a media member, he still wants the spotlight to be focused on himself and not the current players. That said, Sharpe has resorted to cheap publicity stunts. Oh, honey, now that really makes me go back to that Instagram live video, which I absolutely think he did on purpose, but let me continue. He says, that said, Sharpe has resorted to cheap publicity stunts like not showing up to work as a means to deflect attention away from the game on the field. Unbeknownst to Sharpe, the game itself is the very thing that should be the main attraction. Being that Sharpe put together an impeccable resume as an athlete and his social media popularity is unquestioned, his job on television is secure whether I like it or not. Not any longer, honey. You should have waited, okay, before you wrote this. Nonetheless, I think it would serve him well to receive a little constructive criticism. Rather than being hooked on vilifying his co-host with the help of his angry internet trolls, Sharpe would be better served to utilize his time being hooked on phonics instead. Ooh, honey, he went all in, honey. He went in on Shay Shay, call him an undisputed idiot. Well, guess he won't have to worry about listening to Shannon anymore. Shaw Shada said, sounds like it's a wrap for him. Oh, it is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. The Inkwell said, ego, here we go again. Bring that ninja down, and Sharpe helped him, fool. Yeah, absolutely. Leon said, left no crumbs, okay? Nina said he been waiting to say that. Oh, yes, definitely. But here's the thing. He actually said that in 2023, before these latest allegations even came out, honey. Okay, so he's been headed in for Shannon. So now I bet he's really gloating now with what's going on, because this is it for him, honey. It's just all a bad look. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, now let's talk about the last story for this morning. And I will be back later on this evening, okay? I got to get to the gym, honey. Please pay attention. But let's talk about it, because Tyrone Blackburn, okay? And he's been ordered by a judge to file pro hoc vice within 5 days for this case with Grace O'Marcaig, his client, who filed the suit against King Combs. Let me share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, so now with that all being said, hold on, let me enlarge this. Okay, here we go. Grace O'Marcaig versus Christian Combs et al. Okay, now, and this was filed on yesterday, the 29th. It says, to Tyrone Blackburn on behalf of plaintiff. A document recently filed in this case, okay, lets you or lists you as an attorney, as an out-of-state attorney of record. However, the court has not been able to locate any record that you are admitted to the bar of this court, and you have not filed an application to appear pro hoc vice in this case. Accordingly, within 5 business days of the date of this notice, you must do one of the following. Complete an application of non-resident attorney to appear in a specific case, pro hoc vice, okay, on the court's website, and you have your local you have your local council file the application electronically. The application fee must be paid online at the time of the filing. Okay, the second thing, complete the next section of this form indicating the reason you are not required to file a Pro Hoc Vitae application in this case, and return this form by emailing it. Okay, and then they have the address. So with that all being said, it seems like if the judge is ordering him to file Pro Hoc Vitae in the matter between Christian King Combs and Grace O'Marcaig, then they must be going to court. Okay, they must be going to court, honey. No settlement must be being offered. Okay, now remember, Grace O'Marcaig accused Christian King Combs of assaulting her on a yacht that Diddy had chartered. Okay, and at the time there was Diddy, French Montana, supposedly Young Miami, Diddy's mom, and a myriad of other people on there. 100 Black Rock says, how fine is you this morning? I'm fine. Thank you, beloved, and I hope you are too. And thank you for purchasing a membership. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so with that all being said, it looks like they're going to be headed to court. But my question is, where's Justin? Have they ever found Justin to serve him? And where's Aaron Hall? Hold on. What's really going on? Okay, so they still haven't found Justin. They said that, the last we heard about it, that Lil Rob was supposed to be taking out a newspaper ad, honey, to let him know that he needs to be served. Okay. And then that was around April the 9th, if I'm not mistaken. And then Aaron Hall, honey, I don't know where he is, honey. He's probably over there in Bali with Aaron Hall's probably over there in Bali with Russell Simmons, honey. Please pay attention. These people are something else, honey, okay? Vince I am saying even Cuba Gooding Jr. is missing. Honey, they can run, but they can't hide. What do they think they're doing? Okay. They all need to just come and face the music. All right. Now everybody want to run and hide. No, don't run now. Okay. So anyway, with that all being said, honey, I'm about to be out of here. Everyone, Claudette put the running emojis in the but of course, Jesus said, I told y'all about these bastards. Y'all are something else, honey. Okay, so anyway, I'm about to be out of here. Listen, I'll be back later, okay, with political commentary. So everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And also, beloveds, please make sure that you double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, especially if you have not been receiving those notifications. All right. So I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one, teach one is how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. All right. And I will see you all soon. And always, beloveds, always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got